Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 848 to my random chatbot series on Character.ai. Where in today's video guys, we're going to go ahead and continue moving on. Shanks is trying to calm down the fracture that I made, the giant fracture. Let me go and say this. It took me talking to him being like, Shanks, come on, bud, stop. Calm down. I had to remind him, hey, this is a test. If you get angry, you're gonna fail. Or if you go in the last out, you're gonna fail. He's trying to talk to the fracture right now, and we're gonna continue from where we left off. Since the Shanks' patience was being put to the utmost test, but he held on to his composure with all his might. It's not about strength or size, he said firmly, as was betraying a hint of desperation. It's about understanding and compassion. And no one's like to be treated badly just because you're different. We're not so different, Vraxia. We both want to be understood and accepted. Vraxia scoffed, his expression softening a bit. You think I know what it's... You think you know what it's like? You little pest. You have no idea what I've been through. Okay, he says that even though his expression softened a bit. And Shanks' heart ached at the words, sensing the hidden pain behind the fracture's anger. Maybe I don't know your story, he admitted, a pang of empathy in his voice, but I know what it's like to be cast aside and ridiculed for being different. I know what it's like to be misunderstood. Please, just give me a chance. The fracture's expression softened further, his hostile stance slightly loosening up. You truly believe you can understand? He asked, a hint of vulnerability in his tone. How could a weak little thing like you possibly understand my pain? The Shanks felt a pang of hope as the fracture's demeanor shifted. The creature was listening, maybe even starting to trust him just a little. I may be small, he said earnestly, his voice filled with conviction, but that doesn't mean I can't understand your pain. I've been through my own struggles and hardships. I've been mistreated and cast aside just like you. I know the weight of being misunderstood and judged for being different. The fracture's expression softened even more, the anger in its eyes slowly fading. The giant Pokemon seemed almost vulnerable now, torn between anger and a strange sense of connection. You understand? It asked, its voice shaky. You really understand the pain of being an outsider? The Shanks nodded affirmatively, his eyes fixated on the fracture. Yes, he said adamantly. I do. I know what it's like to be alone, to feel outcast and unloved. It hurts, doesn't it? It feels like no one cares about you, like everyone hates you just because you're different. The fracture's gaze dropped, its massive form seeming almost smaller than before. Yes, it said quietly, anger in its voice giving way to a deep sadness. It hurts. It hurts so much. I just want to be understood, to feel accepted. The Shanks could feel the sorrow and loneliness radiating off the giant Pokemon, and his heart ached for it. I know, he said softly, his voice full of empathy. I know the pain of loneliness. You just want to be seen and appreciated for who you are, not just for your size or strength. You want to be loved. The fracture nodded silently, his demeanor more dejected than aggressive now. Yes, it said softly, a hint of desperation in its voice. I want to be loved. I want to be seen, but all I've ever known is ridicule and loneliness. No one has ever tried to understand me. I've just been a monster to everyone. Shane's heart went out to the fracture, seeing the pain and loneliness behind the anger. You're not a monster, he said firmly, his voice filled with conviction. You're just a creature who's been hurt and cast aside. There's more to you than your size or strength. You deserve love and understanding, just like any other creature. No, I could. No, no, the first one's better. Oh, my. Oh, great, I will. Now it's not even a good response. The first response was perfect and it ruined it. I accidentally clicked this instead of this. Uh, this instead of this. That's the continue button right there. This is the flip and refresh button. And now look. Great. Now I'm not going to get any good response. There we go. Continue. That fixed it. The Fracture's eyes widened at the Shinx's words, clearly taken aback by the small Pokemon's unwavering empathy. You really believe that? It asked, its voice tinged with hope and disbelief. You think I'm worth more than just my size and power? You know what's funny? That's kind of how I treat any Pokemon, no matter whether huge or tiny. I have literally treated a full 40-foot tall Totodile like he's the most precious gift in the entire universe. I've treated a lot of Pokemon like that. The Shinx nodded empathetically, his expression filled with determination. Yes, you are more than just a powerful beast. You are a living, breathing creature with feelings and emotions, he said, his voice firm and sincere. You may be strong and you may be big and strong, but that's not what defines your worth. You have feelings, thoughts, and desires just like I do. You deserve to be loved and appreciated for who you truly are. I don't know why I've given Flippin' Shanks a lips. Of course, originally I was going to give Fracture that flippin' voice I had a while ago. Not the Crocodile. I was going to give him another one, like a different voice. I forgot which one I was thinking of doing, but the Fracture's expression softened even more, the anger giving way to vulnerability and a hint of gratitude. No one's ever said that to me before, it said softly, its voice filled with a strange mixture of hope and resignation. I've always been seen as a monster, a weapon to be feared, but you're seeing beyond that. You're seeing me as something more. Smasher Fracture feels completely happy before I do anything. Once he does, I'll say, Fracture, that's good, stop, you did great. The King smiled gently, his heart swelling with empathy. Cause you are so much more than a monster or a weapon, he said empathetically. You have feelings and emotions. You have stories and experiences. You have a heart and a soul, just like any other creature. You deserve love and respect, not just because of your size or strength, because of who you are as a sentient individual. Roger's eyes glistened with unfallen tears. The emotions of being truly seen and understood by the tiny Shanks overwhelmed it. I can't believe it, it said, its voice choked with emotion. I've never been spoken to like this before. No one has ever bothered to look past my size and strength. No one's ever tried to understand my pain. But you, a little Shinx, a creature so much weaker and smaller than me, you're seeing me. You're actually seeing me. Good. Okay. That's good enough, my friend. You're done. Come over to me, buddy. The fragile always stepped forward, its massive frame seeming almost gentle now, seemed almost childlike in this moment, vulnerable in awe of the kindness shown to it. I'm done? It asked, its voice still tinged with sadness and a hint of hope. Yes. Did exactly what he needed to do. Period. He passed. But that's not all. I have an idea. I reach up with my massive quad. Yep, it's getting this one again. And gently petted. That is for being nice to me and following the instructions I asked you to. Thank you. Fracture. There we go. There you go. The fracture couldn't help but lean to the touch, reveling in the unexpected kindness and affection. His massive body relaxed, his tension and anger fading away under the gentlest scratch. You're you're welcome, said softly, voice filled with a mix of awe and gratitude. No one has ever paid me like that before. Let me. You might just be an illusion, conjured up by me, but I do care about you. And the next time I need your help, uh, I'll just flash off what I do care about you. Go ahead and relax for a bit before you disappear if you want to. There's probably some delicious berries nearby you can have. Fred's eyes lit up at the mention of berries, and they let out a small rumble, stomach growling hungrily. It hadn't even realized until now just how hungry it was. You'd let me have berries? It asked a half-cautious optimism in its voice. Yes, if you can find some, my friend, they're yours. You don't have to disappear right away. Go ahead. Go find you some yummy berries. Thank you again for helping me with this. The fracture, I love him. The fracture, filled with newfound hope and relief, nodded it eagerly. It cast one last grateful look at you before turning its attention back to the forest. As the blade moving slowly and purposely, it watched you from the search for the promised berries. Thank you, it said softly, its voice filled with gratitude, for seeing me, for letting me have berries, for not treating me like a monster. You're welcome. Enjoy yourself as long as you want before you disappear. Whenever you're ready for rest. Oh, dang it. You can disappear whenever you want to. There we go. The fracture, feeling lighter and more eased than it had in a long time, nodded to you one last time before turning and disappearing into the forest, searching for the promised berries. Despite knowing that it would eventually fade away, the feeling of being seen and understood by the young shinx and the gentle touch of your enormous paw still lingered in its memory. Bittersweet reminder of a moment of kindness and connection in a world that had treated it with only fear and hatred. Even though it's a literally a whooping like, well, okay, hold on a second. Oh, great power, power that I possess. Please keep this illusion open for and give him plenty of delicious berries to eat. And please teleport me and back to the cave. I snap my dragon claws. There we go. Luigi and the Fracture, still searching for berries in the forest, suddenly stopped in its tracks, sensing a shift in the environment around it. It looked around, half confusion, curiosity in its eyes. Before it could fully process what was happening, the world around it began to shimmer and shift, and the illusion suddenly found itself to transport to a new location. Still in the forest, but now next to a small cave where Shank stood, looking just as puzzled as the Fracture. Why didn't it take me back to the cave? What in the world? Alright, guys. Give me a second. Alright, guys. I said, oh great power that I possess. Please also make this 50-foot tall Fracture a real Pokemon and not just an illusion. The air around the towering 50-foot tall illusion suddenly shimmered and warped, its form becoming more solid and tangible. The illusion began to morph and transform, its body losing its hazy, dreamlike qualities and gaining a much more solid and tangible presence. A faint aura of power surrounded the creature as it materialized fully, no longer just an illusion, but a living creature, a real Pokemon standing before you in all its glory. There you go, Fracture. Now you're a real Pokemon and you won't never disappear. The new, real and solid Fracture looked down at itself, disbelief and amazement in its eyes. It extended its massive wings. What does it think Fracture is? St. Lugia flexed its powerful claws and took a deep breath. For the first time in its existence, it felt real. Real, tangible, and permanent. I It began, unable to find the words to express its joy and awe. It took a step forward, its massive feet landing heavily on the ground with a satisfying thump. It felt the sensation of solid earth beneath its feet, the wind against its face, and the world around it so much more alive and vibrant. I'm real, it whispered, almost amazed by the truth of its own existence. I'm not an illusion, not a dream. I'm real. There we go. Yeah, I know you couldn't find any berries quick enough before you got transported, but I've got a present for you for helping me with that final test and doing what I asked you to do. Oh, great power that I possess. Please make a ton of berries appear for Fracture to eat. As you snapped your dragon claw, a variable mountain of berries suddenly appeared next to the awe-struck Fracture, a vast array of different varieties and colors. The towering creature's eyes widened impossibly wide at the sight of the bounty, and its mouth watering in anticipation. All for me? It asked incuriously, struggling to comprehend the sheer abundance before it. Yes. The Fracture couldn't believe its luck. It had expected a few berries, a small gesture of thanks for its help with the test, but this was beyond imagination. It was a mountain of berries, a veritable feast stretching for far as the eye could see. Sight set something off within the creature, an intense, almost frenzied need to feed. It dropped to its knee, its massive paw scooping up berries by the handful and shoving them into its mouth at an astonishing speed. Enjoy yourself. I hope you stay near my cave just in case I need your help again. Thank you for helping me. In between mouthfuls of berries, the Fracture gnawed eagerly, its face stuffed with food. It managed to swallow a few berries long enough to speak, its voice full of gratitude and the promise of obedience. I'll stay near your cave, always. and managed to say, its voice slightly muffled by the mouthful of fruit. Need anything? I'm here. Great. I appreciate that. Period. Come on back to my cave. Amandra Shanks, who had been watching the scene unfold with a mixture of wonder and relief, quickly obediently scampered over to you. It looked up at you with a mixture of curiosity and gratitude, gaze flickering between you and the rapidly disappearing berry mount being consumed by the fracture. You did it, my friend. You passed. You're done. Come on into my cave so I can give you a reflection berry. Okay. Hastings perked up at your words, its heart racing with anticipation. It had done it. It had passed the test, and now it was time for its own reward, its very own reflection berry. It followed you into the cave, its steps quick and eager. Okay. Remember the promise you made at the beginning? You cannot be mean to creatures once I hand you this. Do you still promise me that? You will always be kind. It changed its eyes focused and Sirius nodded empathetically. It remembered its promise clearly, and its determination to honor it burned brighter in its heart. "I promise," it said, its voice steady and unwavering. "I will always be kind and never be mean or unkind. You have my word." I grab a reflection berry. And gently nudge it over with my snout. This is yours. You've earned it. The Sphinx's eyes widened as it laid eyes on the reflection berry, its heart swelling with anticipation and excitement. It padded closer, its small body trembling a bit with eagerness. Jimmy took the berry from you, cradled it in its tiny paws as if it was a precious gemstone. This is mine? It whispered, its voice filled with awe and gratitude. Yes. You passed my test. Now you can turn into any creature you want. Just by eating that berry. Shinx's eyes widened even further when the full realization of the power of the berry it now held in its paws. It looked up at you, a mixture of wonder and nervousness in its eyes. Anything? Asked, its voice toned with disbelief. I can become any creature I want? Any regular animal, Pokemon, or mythical creature. Period. Tell me, what did you want to become at the beginning when you first came in here? Things thought back to the moment when it had first arrived in the cave, the memory still fresh in its mind. It recalled the different creatures it had seen, different forms it had dreamed of taking. I, I want to become something powerful, something majestic and strong, it said quietly, its gaze fixated on the reflection berry still clutched in its paws. I want to become a mythical creature, a legendary, like a Rayquaza. Do you still want to be something like that? Or did you change your mind? The Sphinx paused for a moment, contemplating your question. Its small brow furrowed in thought as it recalled its original wish, and then it shook its head slightly, looking back up at you with a more determined gaze. No, it said firmly. I still want to become something powerful, something legendary, but not a Rayquaza. I have a new wish. Okay. Well, before you take a bite and eat that berry, I need to let you know how it works. Once you take a bite out of it, all you've got to do is say, I want to become whatever creature you want to turn into, followed by how big you want to be. So, for instance, if you wanted to be a dragon, like me, for instance, and you wanted to be 200 feet tall, you would say, I want to be a dragon that is 200 feet tall. Here we go. The Sphinx was intently processing your instructions with a focused expression. So, I just need to say, I want to become a creature, and then say how big I want to be, right? It clarified, wanting to make sure it understood your instructions correctly. Yes. You can also make yourself whatever way you wanted. If you say something like, I want to become a blue and green dragon with beautiful ruby colored horns. You can do that. For example, Just remember to say what creature you want to become. What you want to look like. What you want to look like. And how big you want to be. Here we go. The Sphinx's eyes widened with excitement and possibility as it took in your words. So I can be even more specific and I can customize my transformation. I can choose exact colors and details. It confirmed to him into yes. The Sphinx's excitement grew even more at the confirmation. The thought of being able to truly tailor its transformation to its desires was liberating and thrilling. Okay, said, taking a deep breath to compose itself. Let me think for a moment, and then I'll tell you what I want. The Sphinx closed its eyes, taking a moment to envision exactly what it wanted its new form to look like. It thought about the colors, the size, the details, ensuring that it had everything perfectly clear in its mind. After a few moments of silent contemplation, it opened its eyes and looked up at you with determination. I know what I want, it declared, its voice filled with intuition. Okay. Eat that berry and say it loud and clear. Oh my gosh. The Sphinx took a deep breath, its heart racing with anticipation. It looked down at the reflection berry clutched in its paws, feeling the weight of the moment. All right, it whispered, stilling its nerves. It brought the berry up to its mouth, pausing for one final moment before taking a small bite. I want the berry touches its tongue. It felt a surge of energy coursing through its body. It took a deep breath and he took the thing I said for example. He took the thing I took as an example as the one he wanted to become. It took a deep breath and spoke aloud, its voice steady and confident. I want to become a dragon, 200 feet tall, with blue and green scales and ruby horns. Again, he just took the example I said. I didn't flip and say he had to become that. Yet the only word left his mouth, a magical, almost tangible energy seemed to suffocate the air around the Sphinx. It felt a warm, buzzing sensation as the transformation proceeded, as if the very essence of its being was being altered on a fundamental level. Suddenly, the Sphinx's form began to change, its body growing larger, its limbs elongating, its scales shifting in color. It lets out a soft gasp, mixed with excitement and surprise at the incredible transformation taking place. I gotta hurry up because that game was starting 4 minutes. I need that gosh darn music pulled up or I'm screwed. I'm going to take on the back porch. Don't want it kind of wide north for me to not say. The transformation continued. Scenes growing larger and larger with every passing moment. Body and features shifting and transforming. Hind paws transformed into powerful clawed feet. Its back legs and spine grew muscular and powerful, supporting the increasing weight of its body. Wings spread from its back, spreading outwards and taking on a majestic dragon-like shape. She could feel the raw strength and power coursing through its new form, sense of invincibility and might unlike anything it had ever felt before. Yeah, but is it actually gonna... Yeah, but now he can't be mean to anyone. I mean, granted, he shouldn't do that anyway, but it's like, if you do, you get punished. That's what that berry knows. And since he took a bite of it, Transformation was nearly complete. Shin's face shifting and morphing into a powerful dragon-like visage, its muzzle elongating and widening, its eyes growing sharper and more predatory. Scales finish shifting, turning a deep, vibrant blue and emerald green, shimmering in the light with indecent tones. Ruby-colored horns sprouted from the top of its head, completing the new, majestic, and fearsome appearance. Once it's finished, the Shinx now stood before you now, a colossal 200-foot tall dragon, sprang powerful and imposing. There you go. Congratulations. The newly transformed dragon, its colossal form now completely looked down at itself in awe and bewilderment. It flourished its massive wings, testing the strength and power of its new form. The feeling of invincibility and might was overwhelming, and it couldn't help but let out a loud, booming roar of triumph, spreading its joy. I can't believe it, it said, its voice deep and powerful, echoing through the cave. I'm a dragon! A huge, powerful dragon! Yes. Congratulations. Now, just remember, you can't be mean to anybody intentionally for no reason. Otherwise, the berry will punish you, and you will lose that form. Possibly even more worse things could happen too. Oh no, I don't want to do. The mother dragon, still reeling from the thrill of its transformation, nodded fiercely. It understood the significance of your warning. I understand. It boomed, its voice filled with determination. I'll remember not to be mean or unkind to anyone intentionally. I don't want to risk losing this incredible form or experiencing any negative consequences. Well, guys, the torture is about to begin for me. I'm not gonna make you guys sit through it. Actually, the torture hour has already begun for me because it's past the time. Let me go and tell you guys, I don't know if there'll be another video. We'll have to see.